Okay, so before I move on to the next program, this is still the program in the previous video with the body mass index. There was something I forgot to mention, and I really want to drive this home, is that, we talked about the fact that indentation matters when you're doing these if statements, and then later in the next unit when we're doing the loops, it's very important that you're consistent with your spacing. And I keep mentioning this because I've seen this in the classroom, doing Python with students, beginners, of course, and they'll have errors, and I'll go over to the desk, and their spacing will be like staggered, like a staircase like this, and that's just not going to fly in Python. The spacing matters. So again, you have to be consistent. And you know what? This is just such a needless mistake too. It shouldn't be too much effort to just remember that whatever's in the block needs to line up perfectly in the block, okay? So, having said that, let's look at the next program here, and hang on here. This one is a university tuition type of calculator. Okay, so we have a super cheap university. Here are the business rules for our university. Undergrad students pay $111 per credit hour. Graduate students pay $222 dollars per credit hour, and then doctoral candidates $333 per credit hour. Still cheap any way you slice it. Okay, so let me run this. And let's say, okay, I've got a brand new undergraduate student here. They are signing up for 10 credit hours. Okay, so please remit your payment of about $1,100 to the college cashier. So that's working. Maybe I'll try one more type. We'll do the doctoral students. So they're the $333 per credit hour. And there you have it. Okay, so it's probably working for the graduate student as well. Let's take a look at the code. Again, short program, pretty straightforward. We are getting the student type first. I'm having the user enter U, G, or D, depending on the student type. Now, this is coming in as a string, right? And we want to keep it as a string, which is why I'm not like converting it to a numeric type. We've been doing that. The last few programs have all been numeric input, like the body mass index and other things. So, for the credit hours, yeah, I'll convert that to integer data type, but not this. The U, the G, or the D, that stays as string data. Okay, so we have the student type and credit hours, and now the decision structure. Now, I've done a couple of different techniques. We have to prepare ourselves for the possibility that the user is going to enter a capital letter or have the caps lock key stuck on. So I want to cover all corners here. So what I've done here is for the undergrad students, I said if stu type is little u or stu type is capital U, okay, that'll do. Remember that double equal sign too. Okay, gotta keep that in the back of your mind always. So we have that as a possibility. Your book mentions in this chapter probably a slightly cleaner, more concise looking possibility, and that's using the lower method. That's a string method or string function that will convert whatever's in there to lowercase. Okay, so I really then only have to compare it against little g, right? Because whatever's in there is going to be converted to lowercase. Not permanently. I mean, the value in the variable is still going to be a capital G, but it's, at least for the sake of this line of code or this comparison, we'll be comparing with a lowercase g. So that's another way. You can use either or, all right? And it'll work either way. So yeah, that's just it. So obviously in the block, we don't have much going on. It's just computing the tuition based on the credit hours times the amount that we put forth in the business rules up at the top. And that's it. Okay, then we have a print, the F string at the bottom to display the amount. And yeah, not a lot going on here, but still good use of decision structure.